I watched a movie about the Alamo last night, and it struck me more forcibly than usual that what we call history is simply our version of what happened. We take an historical event like the Alamo is a perfect example, and we create a narrative that satisfies the outcomes and expectations of our times. We produce a story which has very little or nothing to do with what actually occurred in the past. It's like recutting and resetting a diamond to fit the style of our day. In the case of the movie I saw last night, I would say that the Alamo, the mission itself, the physical building, was the only part of the history given an accurate portrayal. Someone had done their research there. The rest of it was skewed to fit the actors who played the key roles and to satisfy the audience. And they did a pretty good job of that. But as I watched, digesting the transformational thing we call history, it became clear to me that it's time for another retelling of the story. It's time for another Alamo. In our new version, Davy Crockett, still in his trademark coonskin cap, still a crack shot with his long rifle, will be gay. He was voted out of Congress by those narrow-minded rednecks from Tennessee who turned on him when he came out, and now he is in Texas trying to carve out a life with his boyfriend, a young Mexican named Carlos. There is a wrenching subplot about the loyalties of Carlos, where they lay, with Davy and certain death, or with the Mexican army and safety. Jim Bowie is there at the Alamo. He's sick and dying and an alcoholic, and he refuses to wear clothes because he's running such a high fever. He's hot all the time, hot and sweaty, and his clothes stink. So all he's wearing is a belt that holds his famous knife, which is all that's covering his privates. So he's become a nudist, and he's also a vegan. He won't eat meat. He's convinced that eating meat is what made him sick. He's also covered with tattoos, and he's 1/4 black. And he used to pass as white, but now he's accepted his heritage, and he has left the military because he considers it a race-based organization whose main purpose is to keep the blacks and the Indians in line. He finds it bitterly ironic that he's about to be attacked by Mexicans, but he's too sick to do much about it. Colonel Travis is there because he's a sniveling pain in the ass who wants to be a general and yearns to be famous as a great warrior of the West. And his superiors get so sick of his sucking up and doing anything to get a promotion that they finally ordered him to go to San Antonio and occupy the mission there and to hold that position until reinforcements arrive, which they know is a death sentence for that pain-in-the-ass Colonel Travis. He thinks it's his passport to fame. The rest of the people there, the so-called freedom fighters, are a motley collection of drifters and panhandlers who are there because the Alamo provides them with food, water, whiskey, and shelter. As long as that continues, they won't leave. Sam Houston is not there, and he's not coming, and he's not sending any team of rescuers either. He's waiting for those lazy drunkards and misfits in the mission to be massacred, a slaughter he can use to incite public opinion, cause federal troops to be sent in, clear the area, which he can then preside over as the territorial governor, not to mention the hero and liberator. Yes, sir, Sam's got it all worked out, and he won't have to lift a finger to make it happen. General Santa Anna is about to overrun the Alamo and crush that tiny resistance. The government has ordered him to purge the land of all invaders, the illegal aliens, those who came with no papers, who have no right to be there, who contribute nothing to Mexico, and only drain the resources of the national economy. The priests in the mission have mercy on those people. They give them food and shelter, allow them to sponge on others for a living. General Santa Anna calls the people in the mission gringos and wetbacks, mangy dogs, and his soldiers have their orders to take no prisoners. Only true Mexicans belong on this land, he says. We will establish our borders and either push these stinking, degenerate Americans back to where they belong, or kill them and let their bodies rot in the sun. If the priests also die in the battle, that's too bad. The Mexican army attacks and easily overwhelms the outnumbered forces in the mission. The youngster Carlos dies by the side of his lover, Davy Crockett. General Santa Anna does not proclaim the battle to be a great victory, or even record it as a skirmish. He moves on, looking for more wetbacks he can eliminate. Sam Houston calls that genocide, and the American government reacts as he planned, by dispatching troops and in the end defeating Santa Anna and establishing the state of Texas, with him firmly in charge and richer than he'd ever dreamed. Davy Crockett is revered as a hero and a shining example for all gay men to embrace their sexuality and even be willing to die for it. And Jim Bowie dies, not as a sick, naked drunk with a big knife, but as a martyr to the cause of racial equality and vegetarianism. Colonel Travis is promoted posthumously to a full colonel, his place in history preserved, and the ones who sent him there drink a toast to their good fortune. Remember the Alamo.